Hey guys, welcome to Friday with Born Again to Live. Man, I'm so excited. This is gonna be a good day.
Yes, Eric. Tomorrow is the big night. It is the freedom night. It is worship. It's baptism. We're gonna have some amazing speakers. It's gonna be awesome. Have we reminded our listeners in a while that we have a podcast? Or sorry, we don't podcast. I always say that, a Facebook page.
I did while you were off. I said Amy usually does this, so it's my duty now to tell you that we have a Facebook page.
Yes, that's right. So reach out to us, give us some feedback. Oscar, we love hearing from you. Sometimes what he says just straight up makes me laugh.
He's a wealth of information.
He is. But yeah, we want to hear from you guys. And let's see, what do you got planned for today's podcast, Eric?
It's kind of a preview of what I have to say. I only gave myself like 10 minutes or 15 minutes on the schedule tomorrow.
Okay.
Because the message I got's simple, and you know me, I don't really like to talk that much on a microphone. So
right.
I'm kind of like limited myself to just let's get it over with early and be done. But
not if the Spirit moves you, Eric. You're gonna say what God puts in your mouth. Like I do think you should share with the listeners. You did get your tattoo with the fiery coal, right?
Yes.
And it says
Isaiah 6:8, and it's 6:6 through 6:8. But that's the part where Isaiah basically comes before the Lord and he says he's unworthy to speak, and the angel of the Lord goes over, picks up the burning coal, touches his lips, and says, "Now you are made pure." And then he says, "Whom shall I send to tell the people?" And Isaiah says, "Send me, Lord."
Yeah.
So my testimony, I've told it before that I told God, "No, I won't do this." And he basically said, "You will if I want you to." And he convinced me in a way that now, 4.5, almost 5 years later, I put the tattoo of a burning coal with "Send me, Lord" on my arm, because I don't ever want to forget that when I stand up somewhere, it's not me getting up there on my account.
Yeah.
That's God has sent me to do something. And when I was called, that's what I felt like God said, "Eric, you're going to do this." And so every time I look at that now, I can say, okay, it's not me talking. God's telling me to do this, not just me blowing my own smoke or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. It's never about us, right? It's really just about being those vessels for God's healing, for his touch, for his words. When you're speaking of things that we got to remind the listeners of, have you said your catchphrase lately too?
Oh, they made me say it a lot when you were.
Yeah, okay. I want to say it.
Go for it.
I'm going to get it wrong. Hold on.
I get it wrong too, even if it's mine.
It's a relationship, not religion.
Yes.
Or is it? It's not religion. It's a relationship. Yeah, that's it.
And part of that tomorrow, we're going to set people free from religion.
Yes.
Let's go for that. Let's set people free from religion, because, don't get me started. There's so many people in this world, this community, this area, this group of people I know that are tied down with, I'm Methodist, we don't do it that way. Or I'm whatever, fill in the blank. I just said them because I looked at the Methodist church outside. I'm not picking on one denomination. But there's also the people who are like, well, I can't go to the altar and kneel down because I'm in a skirt.
Yeah.
Or, fill in the blank. There's so many things that stop people from enjoying the freedom of God.
Yes.
And when God was so I started on this topic with DJ and Chris, and I may not have gotten there, but everybody looks at God as a mean God.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a new song, actually, I'm probably going to use it Mondays. It's "The God I Know" by Brandon Lake and Lainey Wilson.
Okay.
And, but anyways, in that song, he talks about who God, they were told God was versus who he is. And if you look at the Garden of Eden, there's an exact replica of what we need to know about God. So man screwed up. We sinned. They ate of the fruit that they weren't allowed to eat of, and they caused a separation between them and God, right? That's what everybody says. Well, it didn't really cause a separation, because if you look what happened immediately after that, God came to the garden, tried to talk to Adam and Eve, and they hid from him. So the separation wasn't between God and man. It was between man and God. Because, and there's a difference in the way I said that, just because man ran from God. God didn't run from man. He ran towards them and said, where are you at?
Yes, that's true.
And then they said, well, we're hiding because we're naked. And then, like Josh Pickett says, the most important question in the world, who told you were naked? And but that's the God I love, is the one who went after them in that garden, went to find them, knowing what they did, knowing the sin that was caused. He went to find them because he loved a relationship with them.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants with each and every one of us. And what religion tells us all the time is that God hates your sin, and he had to use Jesus as a sacrifice. It wasn't a sacrifice as much as it was God needed a way for us to get back into that right relationship. And so he had to cover all of that.
Yeah.
And well, everybody gets focused on the death of Christ, but it was the blood that washed away all of our sins so that God could walk in that right relationship with us again and have that personal one-on-one time with us that everybody says you can't have, because that's what religion tells you. You have to do the stuff, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, or God's not going to love you, and that's where it comes down to, is it's that all about that relationship.
And they completely miss the fact that God already loves them. Like, I got to do all this stuff so God loves me. Like, no, brother, he's loved you since before you were born. Like, from the foundation of the world, he knew that he was going to create you, that you would be, you'd be one of his children. Like, you don't need to strive and struggle. He already loves you.
No, and when they say, like, what does it take on the guard when Paul and Silas are broken free from their chains, which is what's going to happen tomorrow night, freedom from chains. When they're broken free in this prison, and the guard's like, oh, no, you're going to escape. I'm going to have to kill myself. They're like, no, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And the guard's like, overwhelmed in that moment. He says, what do I have to do to believe in the same God that you believe? How can I be saved like you've been saved? And they say, all you got to do is believe.
Yeah.
That Jesus is who he said he is, and give your life to him. And then immediately he does it. He's baptized. He runs home. He tells his family, and many of them are saved.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do anything special other than to believe who God is and what Jesus did on the cross. And religion tells you have to say the sinner's prayer. You have to do this. You have to do that. I think that's the reason the Ethiopian eunuch is in the Bible with Philip, is to teach you that not everything goes according to what you think it has to go. Or even the thief on the cross isn't exactly like they've pictured it. Everybody says you gotta be saved, you gotta be baptized, and then you're good, right? That thief on the cross never got baptized.
That's right.
But he was still saved. Jesus promised him he would walk in paradise with him that day.
Yeah.
So are you going to call Jesus a liar? Because I'm not.
No.
So if that guy didn't go in water, obviously he's still saved. So does that mean everybody has to be baptized? I don't think so. It's a conversation for you and God.
Yeah. Well, in scriptures, Jesus said, call on the name of the Lord and you will be saved. Well, that's pretty much what the thief did, is call on Jesus to save. But he had that obvious one-on-one interaction. But
the reason we baptize, and the reason we're going to baptize tomorrow night, is it's an outward display of an inward change.
Yeah.
It's so the world can see that you are real about what happened, that there was a death and a new life.
Yeah.
And that's why we do the water. It's not to save you. The water's not to save you. The water's not to cleanse your sin. That's already happened. If you've been born again, you're cleansed of your sin. You're forgiven. The water just reassures everybody that's what you did.
Yeah.
That you're a new creation. You died in that water. Died and you're back alive.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Just this Freedom Night's got me going. So.
I can't wait to see, because Eric, I feel like there's been so many people praying in this area and for this area, and there is a movement of the Spirit in Warrensville. Like, you just sense it. Like, every time I drive into this town, I'm like, God is working here, and we see it in our teen center. We just hear it in the stories of people that we encounter. I love that. It's been a minute since we've done baptisms, like on a more kind of community scale and on a larger scale. And so I don't know. I hope that people. I also don't want people to think, because I I'm kind of thinking this myself. Like, I got baptized as a kid. I didn't know what it was all about. I certainly wasn't there with Jesus in my walk. And there might be some people, Eric, that come to, Freedom Night, and they're like, well, I was already baptized. I can't be baptized again. And, I know Rob Reynolds talks about this all the time. Like, he's like, sometimes you got a little more washing to do, before you're really ready. And, but yeah, I hope they're ready to, if they got baptized when they didn't really understand what it meant, what they were committing to, like, I hope that they sort of rededicate themselves, and take that opportunity to do it, because it isn't just about saving the lost. It really is about reigniting the saved. Like, if we're just sitting around waiting on Jesus, when we talk about that, if that's all we're doing, we could do better.
Yeah. I know I forget if it was Rob or if it's James. One of them's like, yeah, it took 7 times for it to take hold. Like,
yeah,
I remember that conversation. Like, they got baptized 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, like, yeah, I've been baptized. I was baptized as a kid or baby in the Lutheran church, the sprinkling thing.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Methodist church when I was 12, and we went through the whole class and got to the commitment part. And yes, I want to give my life to God. And I remember being baptized in the river.
Oh, wow.
But that night in the tent, it was different.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so much different. Like, I remember just when I went under that water, it was like, man, I died in that water, and I came back out a new creation. And if you haven't experienced that, then get in the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's overwhelming if you truly give your life. And the way I wanted to go about today was, what stops somebody from that? Why do we have to have a freedom night when it should just be easy to be free?
Yeah.
But there's a adversary. We talked about it with the Garden of Eden. Like, there's an adversary. We have a spirit, a demon, who doesn't want you to be free. He wants you to be a captive. He wants you to be separated from God. He wants you to feel like you're not worthy enough, not good enough, all these things.
Yes.
And so we have to have freedom nights so that we can show people or encourage people that it's okay to step beyond that comfort spot.
Absolutely. Because, Eric, I think a lot of people, they might not be happy where they are. They might not even feel worthy where they are. They might be just, I don't know, living with a lot of sin and shame and regret. But, like, they get so comfortable where they're at, they'd rather have the known than the not known, even though on the other side of just giving it all to God, there is just a different life out there for you. And, and that's, the Christian walk is not easy. That does not mean you've got this smooth, perfect path anymore than you maybe did before. If not, it can be worse sometimes, right? But it just tells us, like, He's with us that whole time. And we can just rest on the things that He promises us. And, all the things, like, we don't His ways are not our ways. Like, I don't know how many times I say that to myself on those days that I just don't understand what's happening. Or I know God's moving, but I just don't understand how He's moving or why something's taking so long, and just resting on the power of His word. And that is such a gift. It is such a gift, Eric.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know. I've been really thinking about this whole fear, I guess.
Yeah.
And why, I mean, I know I had it. Like, I didn't want to raise my hand and say that I was an addict. I didn't want to raise my hand and ask for help. I sat in church for many, many times and said, God, just take it away. God, just take it away. But I wasn't asking God to set me free from it. I was just wanting to hide what I was doing.
Yeah.
And instead of what I truly needed to ask is, God, change my life. God, help me. And I guess God woke me up the other day, like a couple of days, maybe a week ago. Anyways, He was talking to me just about this same thing, like fear. And he opened my eyes to the pool of Bethesda. And we've talked about this story on here before, and I love the whole depiction of all these people laying around, and Jesus steps over them all and goes past all these other people to get to this one guy.
Yeah.
And you know that Jesus is going to heal this guy. And in The Chosen, they depict it.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah.
Like, you know he's going to get healed. Jesus just looks over everything else and walks to this one guy, basically, and is like, the first one, what's he say? Do you want to be healed?
Yeah.
That's his opening line, not, hey, how are you? It's, do you want to be healed?
Yeah.
And what God was telling me is, why did he ask that? Why did he want to know something so simple? Because obviously the guy wanted healed. He was at the pool. But was he ready to be healed? That's where I'm going to go with this. Because so many of us out there, so many people will show up to church. They'll show up to evangelistic things. They'll show up to worship nights. They'll show up to freedom nights. And they'll stay in the back. And they'll be comfortable with not being free.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of what's going to happen after. And Amy said it so many times to kids here at Big Blue. You can give your life to God, and that doesn't mean he's going to make you Eric.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's going to make you me. That doesn't mean he's going to make you anybody else. You can't let fear stop you from allowing God to set you free. And so many people, I believe, that's their whole determining factor that keeps them going to hell.
Yeah.
Is they're afraid of what's going to happen after they give their life to God.
Yeah, I think they're afraid that their friends will reject them, that their family will think they're stupid. You know, they're like, well, what if I don't fit in anymore? You know, does that mean I can't smoke? Like, whatever it is going through their head. Like, they don't want to be changed. But something deep down inside of them is saying, I can't stay where I'm at. I don't want to be here, but because they can't see what's on the other side. And yeah, it's kind of tragic because, Eric, I think about all the things I've seen in my lifetime when people just take that leap of faith. And I know that's kind of a corny cliche kind of term, right? That leap of faith. But I mean, really, it's just a step of faith. And then God turns that little step into a giant leap, right? Like, we're not doing much. We're just like, all right, God, I don't like it. Because that's the thing. That's such a poetic term, this leap of faith. But really what it looks like is us just saying, almost standing still, right? Say, yeah. God, I don't know what's going, because I say this almost every day. Like, what is going on in my life? My life is so confusing most of the time, Eric. But like, yeah, we're just standing there saying, God, I don't know what you're doing. I don't understand this. But I'm just going to take another step. I'm going to move forward 2 more inches. Because I think that's what, I know that's what you want me to do. I'm a little bit scared. I'm nervous. I'm not seeing the picture. Like, go to God like that. It's totally okay. You can't, you don't have to be like, God, I trust you with everything I've got. And just like leap 20 feet across the road. Just keep going and build that faith.
Yeah.
Because it starts with like a little shuffle. Then it moves to a step. Then it moves to maybe a leap, maybe a long jump. I don't know. But like, that's how God works.
And that's my whole, I want to see tomorrow night. I want to see that spirit of fear just completely cast away.
Yes.
And I think about it in church terms, and this sounds really bad, but you go to some churches, you're afraid to raise your hand and worship God. You're afraid to bow in front of you. You're afraid to get down on your knees and worship God at an altar because you're afraid of how people are going to judge you. You're afraid of how people are going to think about you. Or what's wrong with Eric today? Why has he got to go to the altar? What did he do? What's wrong with him? What sin did he commit? Or, they start, you start thinking through your head in the back of the room. You're like, that's what they're going to think about me. What, I can't go up there. What if you're going up there to say, God, you are so good to me.
Yeah.
God, you are the most amazing thing that ever happened in my life. And I just want to get down and tell you that you are still my God. What if that's what I got to say? But I feel like everybody's going to be like, oh, Eric screwed up. He's asking for forgiveness. Like,
yeah, they're treating it like it's that Booth and Charlie Brown, with Lucy the 5 cents. You can only go to the altar if you need something from God, if you're really broken, really damaged. But yeah, to your point, Eric, like, you can go to God with nothing but thanksgiving and joy in your heart. Like,
I mean, we decided when we came up with this idea, it was a praise and worship night.
Yeah.
It wasn't all about healings or any of that. It's a praise and worship night. But in praise and worship, you find that freedom that we talk about. When you can raise your hands and just worship God with everything you got, there's a freedom like no other.
Yeah, it really is.
So I don't know. I've really been praying that the spirit of fear will just and almost like it stops at the gate. You know how you talked about your gate?
Oh, yeah.
How you pray that you leave it at the gate. Like, if you're coming to this thing tomorrow night, leave it at the gate. When you come through that, just leave it there and don't worry about it. Like, everybody here's like-minded. We're all the body of Christ. We love you. We don't care what you look like, if you're ugly crying or if you're pretty crying. We don't care. Just come with the expectation that when you leave, you're going to be free.
Yeah.
Because whom the Son sets free is free indeed. It's not he's free until he walks away.
Right.
It's freedom forever. And if you're afraid of what it's going to look like, God's going to tell you it's going to be okay because he's got a plan for you.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 29:11 says he's got a plan for your good. It's a plan for you to prosper. Why would he set you free if he didn't have a plan?
Yeah.
He has a plan. He knows how to handle it. You're never going to surprise him. He's omnipresent. He's omniscient. He knows everything that's going to happen. He has a whole plan designed. All you have to do is say yes, and then he can figure out everything after that. But if you don't give him that yes, then he can't put his plan into action for your perfect life.
That's it. Yeah. And he is just waiting for you. He loves you enough to let you say that yes. He's not going to do it for you. He's not going to force you. That's how much he loves you. In a way, he's saying, Eric, take all the time in the world, or Amy, take all the time in the world. But the same breath, it's like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, we hope you join us tomorrow night. We hope to see some of y'all there. I guess we gotta.
Oh yeah, we got stack stands.
See, this is why you need me, Eric. You forget this kind of stuff.
You're right. I probably would. I'm hyped up on tomorrow night. Like, I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I'm in that mode of like, this week can't go fast enough, can't get there quick enough. Like, let's go Saturday night and let's see what happens.
Eric on Fire is my favorite version of you. So I love it. I love it. We're going to start calling it Fire Friday, right?
Sure.
This is when Eric gets on fire. Okay. So you want to go first?
I'll let you.
Thank you, ladies. You're such a gentleman. No, I guess, in all this talking and mentioning, my favorite scripture verse is 2 Timothy 1:7, where God did not give us a spirit of fear. So if you're fearful, that's not of God. That is of the adversary, right? So it says God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. And, as you were talking about that and just being fearless and just moving into faith, I'm kind of talking about my mom this week. Like, that's the theme. But I think the stone I want to stack for my mom is that, man, she raised two fiercely independent women. Like, she just modeled it. She showed us how, like, when things don't seem right, I don't care if I'm the only woman on this committee. I don't care if I'm the only mom at my workplace. Like, she just plowed through life doing what she thought was the right thing to do. Not for her vain glory, but because, like, this could be done better. And, she ruffled a lot of feathers doing that. Even at her own church, Eric, the old guard did not like it when Carol Tubbs stepped onto the committee and started changing things for the better. They did not like that. But she just thought there was a better way to do it, and that's what she did. And so, but yeah, that she modeled that my whole life. And I know I'm definitely the person I am because of her. And if you go back to episode 3, my whole faith story started. Well, my mom met this friend.
Yeah.
And so what my mom's faith has carried through my whole life. And so I'm stacking a stone for her faith and for her boldness.
Pretty good. Like that.
What you got for us, Eric?
I'm thankful that God can restore anything. My stone is restoration, I guess.
Yeah.
In life, I've seen people come and go in different aspects, but in the end, if you give it to God, and we talked about forgiveness yesterday, but if you give it to God, if you really truly give it to him, he can restore it too.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to erase it. He doesn't have to make it move. He doesn't have to take it out of your life completely. He can restore it and bring it back to a new state. And I've seen it evolve in the last 2 to 3 months with people. People I thought, man, there's no chance of restoration with this person. There's absolutely no way. And then it's just like you can see God go, oh, I got this. Like, that old saying, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Like, that's God. Like, when I challenge him to, like, there's no way you can make this person and me get along ever again.
Yeah.
And he's like, here, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Just watch this. I'm going to do it, and you're going to be amazed that I'm going to do it. And that's I'm so thankful that we serve a God that can restore anything, can fix anything, can make it, the dead can be made new. That's the kind of God I like. I don't want the God that you pray to him and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the story of Elijah on the mountain. He's mocking Baal and saying, oh, maybe he's asleep. Maybe he's slumbering. Maybe he had to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
I think about that story because there's nobody who can say that about our God. Our God never slumbers. Our God is never asleep on us. He doesn't have to have a break.
Yeah.
He's always working. Always working. He took a day off after creation and he hasn't stopped working since.
Yeah.
And he can always restore it. He can always make it new again.
Yeah.
And look at the story of Lazarus. I mean, he brought him from 4 days in the grave, stinking,
Yeah.
back to new life. He can fix anything.
That's right.
I am so thankful for restoration.
That's a good one, Eric. All right. Well done.
Ah.
Okay, guys, have a great weekend. We hope to see you on Saturday. If not, we'll be praying for you anyway. We love our listeners, and we'll see you on Monday.
That's right. See y'all later.
Bye.